Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Like Idma said, my name is Alejandra Santos, and I am with an organization called Hoven. So I am the program director for prevention, and we go around the community just informing parents as well as students about drug prevention. So today's topic would be dangers of social media. So we're going to look at the in-depth look at current social media trends and how they can escalate substance use and abuse among adolescents. So, I know social media has changed how we engage the world within all of us as adults, teenagers, children. They have reshaped how we seek out information, maintain relationships, and make decisions. So, social media has definitely been a big plus for a lot of us, especially during this time, during the pandemic, where we're still be able to maintain our relationships with family that we haven't seen in a while or with friends, being able to work remotely, being able to do school remotely. So there's lots of positives that come with social media or comes with the technology the advancement of technology that we have today. But this impact has been even greater for individuals who are growing up with access to social media. So I know, like, as young children, as for us, when we think back, like, we didn't have social media, we didn't have technology, we didn't have iPads that the kids have or the gaming devices that they have. And nowadays, you see 3-year-olds who are very capable of using an iPad by themselves. They can navigate the internet by themselves. Like elementary students, we're seeing during this pandemic where they're able to navigate technology very easily, probably easier than most of us on how to use some of those different devices and the platforms that are on it. But what I really want to talk about is that even though there's so many positives, there is a lot of negatives that come with social media, and especially when it comes to substance use, especially among adolescents. So, some rates of teen social media use. So this is a survey that went out in 2020. So these are about what teenagers are using, what social media apps are they using. 84% are using Instagram, 80% are using Snapchat, 69% are using TikTok, 39% are using Twitter, 32% on Pinterest, 28% Facebook, and then 3% on LinkedIn. So these are young teens with the average age of 15 years old who said that these were the platforms that they were using, these were the apps they were using. Just so that you're familiar with what's out there, what your teen may or may not be using, what's more popular, things like that. So, how are social media and drug use related? So, so these are some of the negatives that can come with social media, are things that we need to take a look at and remember. So, social media glamorizes drug and alcohol abuse. So, with a quick search, you can find attractive images and videos of public figures and celebrities using addictive substances on social media websites and apps. Just yesterday, when I was going over my presentation again and preparing for this presentation, I literally just went on Instagram. I looked up, you can look up hashtags. I looked up weed and 2.9 million posts popped up. So 2.9 million posts on Instagram have the hashtag weed on there. So kids and teens and young adults can just hashtag whatever they're looking for and they're able to find it. Social media normalizes drug and alcohol abuse. So it's all too easy to view images of friends and family members using drugs or alcohol, making it seem a lot more common and accepted behavior than it actually is, especially nowadays that weed is legal in a few states in the United States. That normalizes marijuana, that normalizes it and makes it seem like it's okay for young adults to use them. So social media also normalizes it. They're scrolling down off their feed on Instagram, Facebook, on Snapchat, and they're seeing these images. And because they're seeing it so often, it's normal to them. Social media allows users to present a perfectly curated version of their lives. So, this not only glamorizes drug and alcohol use, but it also sweeps the dark side effects of these behaviors under the rug where they won't be seen by online friends or followers. Because if you were to see substance use in real life, that would present a much different picture. So lots of times people are posting about them using these substances and how much fun they're having when they're at the high peak of that drug effects. That's all they're showing. So that's all that they're viewing. However, they're not showing the after effects of what it feels like at the end, like maybe if when they're hungover and they're throwing up, or that they're really sick. They're not showing that because it's not picture perfect anymore. So a lot of social media users are not seeing the real picture or seeing what happens after the fact. People are often more likely to discuss drug abuse on social media than in person. So, like, unlike in person interactions, social media offers a layer of separation that can encourage discussions about drug and alcohol abuse. People are less likely to admit to these behaviors in a face to face conversation. So, being on social media, it seems like it's it's like a distance. There's a distance. I don't have to show my face to post something, or I don't have to see anybody's reaction when I post something or when I'm looking at something. So it allows them to think that they are in a safe place where they're able to discuss whatever they may be discussing, not thinking of the consequences from those actions. And then advertisers target people on social media. So alcohol advertisers often use social media for publicizing purposes, targeting certain people, and normalizing the use of alcohol. Unfortunately, this targeting rarely promotes responsible alcohol use and awareness of alcohol related harm. As we know, um, alcohol companies can't be promoting to young people, but on social media, that's not necessarily. They can get away with it because they say that they're not targeting young people, when in reality young people are the ones who are mostly reviewing those posts and seeing those advertisements, so they're the ones who are being targeted by advertising companies such as tobacco companies as well as alcohol companies. So, the relationship between social media and teen drug use. Young people experimenting with drugs and alcohol is nothing new. Um, it's not something that just happened because social media happened. However, social media does offer new and dangerous opportunities for young people to be exposed to drugs. So there was a study conducted by the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University that found that teenagers who regularly used popular social media outlets were more likely to drink, use drugs, and buy tobacco than adolescents who either did not use social media or used it less frequently. Also, it said that teenagers were viewing substances online by the age of 13 that they normally would not have seen if they did not have social media. I know, looking back as a young teen, I hadn't seen a lot of these illegal substances like drugs and alcohol um, until I was in college, where now they were kind of out there. But young people are just seeing it now on social media, so they're being exposed to it at a very early age, as where people who are off social media are not. Social media and peer pressure. So peer pressure to use drugs and alcohol was once thought to be only within high school social gatherings, which is still an issue. That is still a big factor of why young people start using drugs, is because of peer pressure within their social gatherings or within their social circles. But social media has created a new mechanism that encourages teen substance abuse. 75% of teens felt pressure to drink alcohol and use drugs after seeing their friends post these activities online. So even if they're not necessarily in the same room with them and being asked like, "Hey, come take a drink of this. Let's um let's smoke this vape or let's have some of this alcohol." They're seeing this on Snapchat, on Instagram stories, um, on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh, these kids are my age. Am I supposed to be doing the things that they're doing? Am I behind? Am I not quote unquote cool enough? And I'm not being invited to these functions or these gatherings to have these same experiences. Like, am I behind?" So they feel a lot of pressure to already start using these substances at a very young age because of what they're seeing online. Social media used as a platform to sell drugs. So illegal drugs are sold on several different social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. So these social media platforms provide a quick and convenient way for buyers and sellers to connect and preview the product. These apps are used to advertise the drugs, communicate with buyers privately, and arrange or complete transactions. So, as you know, we can, like I said about searching hashtags on Instagram, I searched weed and I found a whole 2.9 million postings of just the hashtag weed. So young people go on there, they look up the different slang that they have for drugs, and they find the hashtags, find the area that they're in, and try to connect with the buyer that way. And then they use several different platforms as well, which I'll discuss right now. So these are some of the apps on how people buy and sell drugs using social media and what way they use that app for. So for Instagram, it's used to locate a dealer and products by searching hashtags and browsing. So that's basically what I just said right now. They're able to search different hashtags or the different slang for drug use and are able to find people who are able to sell to them. And then Facebook provides an environment where drug and alcohol abuse is glamorized and normalized with targeted ads and images of celebrities using addictive substances. So this is more um, where they get normalized or they get exposed to different certain drugs. And then TikTok. So TikTok has, I'm sure you guys have already heard of TikTok. It has been a very popular as of last year, 2020, especially during the pandemic, where we were just at home. So people were using social media as a way to reach out and still be with people around their age. And so these videos that they view on TikTok provide videos that give user tips and on how to use drugs and different ways to get those drugs, things like that that they may not have seen beforehand. And then Snapchat connects buyers and sellers by provides a feature of being able to receive self-deleting snaps. So if you don't know, on Snapchat, you can send a Snapchat for however long, however seconds that you want, whether it's like 10 or 5 seconds. And the person that you send that Snapchat to is only able to view that image for the a second that you allow them to view it as. So they feel like it's a safe app for them to be able to um, distribute or send pictures throughout social media. And YouTube is also very popular. It's not on here, but YouTube is very popular to also provide videos that give users tips on how to use drugs, just like TikTok is. I know all kids of all ages are using YouTube and can search pretty much anything on there. And even though a lot of these social media apps have restrictions on what they're able to share, they're not really strict on that. A lots of things fall between the cracks, and people are still being, young people especially, are still being exposed to these videos that are very harmful for them and for their health. So this is an example that I have here of Snapchat where they're showing the product and they're selling it. So you'll see weed like 3/4 of a pound for $900. Who wants it? Anyone want to smoke for $10? And then they have the phone number there attached. So this is just on random Snapchats where people are able to view. And sometimes drug dealers will put like their whole products on and just scan it on Snapchat, like put their camera over all of their products they have, like which one do you want? And this can go through anything. It could be weed, it could be alcohol, it could be vaping, vaping materials, different things like that, ketamine. Um, so these are the things that are out there on Snapchat that are easily accessible to young adults. And then TikTok. TikTok, we have to be very cautious with TikTok, you know. I personally am on TikTok. I see things like cooking, like different recipes that you can have, funny parenting, like moms who are parenting, things like that, funny videos. But there's also a dark side of TikTok. It could be a really great distraction, especially during this time, this pandemic, where we're seeing just funny videos of random people. But there's also a very dark side of TikTok where it can teach dangerous things that we need to be cautious of and what our teens are watching. So TikTok teaching teens how to DIY alcohol. So not do they only do they portray an illegal act due to underage drinking, but the videos showcase a dangerous way to drink alcohol. These TikToks show underage users the process of making, then drinking their own alcohol, easily produced with ingredients found in their own home kitchens. So it gives them the recipe, tells them what they need, shows them how to drink it, and this is not safe. You know, this is not something safe. They could be drinking excessive amount. Maybe they're not putting the right ingredients. Maybe those ingredients are not the healthiest ingredients for their bodies. And so it could be very dangerous when it comes to it. And not only are they teaching how to DIY alcohol, but during this time, they're teaching how to take advantage of the pandemic. So teens are taking advantage of wearing masks to buy booze underage, and it's working flawlessly. So there was this whole viral thread that was going through TikTok where teenagers were dressing up as older adults, as seniors, so that they can go and buy alcohol. And of course, during this pandemic, we are required to wear masks in stores. And so, even with a fake ID, most of the time, as you know, as an older person, they are not they don't necessarily ask senior citizens to show their IDs when they're buying alcohol, just be to be respectful. So most of the time, 98% of the time, this TikTok worked. So they dressed her up as an old lady. You see here they sprayed her hair paint, her hair gray. She has she's dressed like it. I've even seen some where they're using walkers. Their friends are helping them walk into the store like they're their granddaughters or grandsons. So they really took advantage of this time to get alcohol underage. Um, so retailers are being warned to stay aware and become more strict in who they ask for IDs. This has been removed from TikTok, but it had been there for a very long time for it to go viral and for many people to do the same TikTok challenge, as you would say, as they would say on TikTok. So lots of people did this challenge, and it worked. And also during this pandemic, things have been um, very easy for us to do as adults. Like we have curbside now. We are able there. The laws on alcohol have been really limited because of the pandemic. So you could go to like Taco Cabana and um, you can order alcohol to go, and they just give you the tequila for your margarita at the window. All you have to do is buy some nachos or something. So lots of times they're not IDing. You're even able to ship alcohol to your house, and people are just leaving it at the front door. They're not necessarily asking for IDs. So during this pandemic, lots of things are falling in the cracks. Lots of people, the usage of alcohol has raised for underage drinking during this time. So just being more aware of this, being aware of what they're watching on TikTok, um, what challenges are out there, and just becoming more aware of what's going on. So, what parents can do. I know, especially as teenagers are growing up, they want more privacy, and we should give youth the room to grow and to be able to stretch their wings and fly. But at the same time, we need to be able to protect them. And so, limiting time online, you can monitor internet use, talk about the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. Have that communication with them so that they're aware of the dangerous effects that can happen if they use these substances. Because you'd rather them hear it from you than hear from it on TikTok or hear from it from their friends who may not have the correct, accurate information. Um, Practicing open communication with them, allowing them to be able to come to you for anything if they have questions, if there was a situation that arose that dealt with peer pressure and substance use, paying attention to behavioral changes, and then addressing problems early. So if you are noticing that they have that your teen has already been curious about alcohol and substance use and have already started using and experimenting, addressing those problems early, and making sure that it doesn't become an addiction, and cutting it off early. And then just overall tips to share with your teen about social media, not necessarily about substance use, but just tips that they need to know in order to have a very successful life as they get older, because social media can wreak havoc on someone's future when they're not too careful about what's being posted, what's being shared about them, things like that. So, making sure you share with your teen about adjusting privacy settings and preferences. I believe that that teens should have private accounts, not public, where anybody can see their stuff, see their information. Review the privacy options of the social media platforms that your teenager uses. Teach your teen how to use the privacy options. Stress the importance of preventing content from making it into strangers' hands. So that's basically what I just said. Making sure that their accounts are private so that not no random stranger on the internet can just view their pictures, view where they hang out, what school they go to, different things like that. Avoid oversharing. So advise teens that they should not share anything, including status updates, photos, or videos that might embarrass or compromise themselves or others. They should assume that anything they put online will be there forever. Even if they can delete a post on social media platform, there's no guarantee that someone else didn't save it. A lot of people post more risky or dangerous behaviors on Snapchat because of that self deleting feature. But like we saw in my examples, people were screenshotting those pictures. People were taking picture of someone else's phone. So someone could still be getting their information or seeing their posts, even if it's on Snapchat, even if they think it's safe. If it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Um, don't do anything in the real world that you wouldn't want shared online. So teens can try to manage their digital footprint by making sure that they're only posting what they want to have posted or what they feel comfortable sharing or what they feel is appropriate. But at the same time, other people may post videos or images of them in scandalous behavior in the real world, which will minimize the chances that unwanted content will make it onto social media. So on Facebook, especially, if if someone else um, shares their content or tags your child in a post that they may not want out there, it goes straight onto their Facebook, and all of their Facebook followers are able to see it. So even if you're careful about what you post, your friends may not be. So just being careful about what is being shared out there, what they're doing, and just putting in their heads that what you're doing out there can also be seen through social media, because we can't control anybody else's actions. So just being aware of that. Um, and especially by being under the influence of drugs or alcohol can make this more likely to occur because of the lowered inhibitions, less awareness of who is recording and what is being uploaded. And the last one, being mindful of whom you follow. So advise teens to critically analyze who they are following on social media, what kind of messages are they receiving by the people that they're following, how do these messages make the teen feel, encourage them to avoid content that makes them feel down, gets upset, or tempts them into making poor decisions. I know with social media, there's lots of Instagram influencers or just YouTubers and who are living extravagantly and just showing their lives as like picture perfect, and lots of teens want to replicate those behaviors so that they can be more like them. And so just being aware of what you're following, especially um, when it comes to the influencers online, like where it's like you're body shaming yourself because of how someone else looks on social media. So just being aware of whom they follow, and if you share these tips with them, they're able to have a more clear mind on what they're able to on what they should be doing and what they should be aware about, because they haven't even thought about any of these things, or they think nothing can happen to them on social media. So just being more aware, sharing some tips with them, and that's it. So I hope you guys learned a lot new information, as well as good tips that you're going to go ahead and take home and share with your teens at home. Thank you so much.